Masayang mag-aral ng sensya with Sir Alvin Miranda.
Good day, learners! Welcome back to my class. For this video, we are going to talk about the components of an ecosystem. For our most essential learning competency, you should be able to differentiate biotic from abiotic components of an ecosystem. Are you ready to learn? Let's go! In our previous video, we learned about the different levels of biological organization, which are arranged from simple to complex, one of which is the ecosystem. An ecosystem is a community of living things interacting with its non-living environment. The branch of science that deals with the study of organisms and how they interact with the environment around them is called ecology. An ecosystem is made up of abiotic and biotic components that work together to maintain balance. Preceded by the prefix a, which means without, followed by the Greek word bios, which means life. Abiotic therefore means without life. It is the non-living component or the physical or chemical aspect of an ecosystem. Abiotic components are non-living things which have important role in the survival of living organisms in an ecosystem. The most important abiotic components are the following: water, sunlight, air, soil, and temperature. Animals and plants are dependent on abiotic factors in the ecosystem. Abiotic factors should be just right in order for life to thrive. Now, can you tell me which abiotic factor is being described? It is where plants get their nutrients and water. An abiotic factor which is influenced by the sunlight. It is the main source of energy and important in the process called photosynthesis. On the other hand, the biotic component is the living component of an ecosystem. Living organisms are all things on Earth that possess life, like trees, plants, animals, and including you. Biotic components are the living things which help shape an ecosystem. They affect another organism either as a consumer or producer. Each biotic component needs energy to do work. Biotic components includes producers, consumers, and decomposers. Producers are organisms that can make their own food by converting the energy from the sun into food. Producers are called energy transducers. They convert solar energy into chemical energy with the help of organic and inorganic substances. The producers are called autotrophic organisms. These are organisms that can make their own food. They are largely represented by green plants on lands and phytoplanktons on water. Consumers are organisms that cannot make their own food. They depend upon producers for food, like the animals. Consumers are the organisms that feed on other organisms to survive. They consume the food materials prepared by the producers. Depending upon the food habits, consumers are classified into primary, secondary, and tertiary consumers. Primary consumers solely feed on plants. Herbivores are plant eaters like grasshopper, rabbit, and goat. Secondary consumers are those which predate on primary consumers. They are carnivores, which are flesh eaters like hawk, tiger, and lion, or omnivores, which eat both plants and animal flesh like humans. Tertiary consumers are the predator of predators. They are mostly larger animals, decomposers. They decompose or break down chemicals from producers and consumers into simpler form which can be reused. Samples are bacteria and fungi. They are also called micro-consumers. They depend on dead organic matter for their food. Now, can you identify the biotic and abiotic component of this ecosystem? Comment down your answer below. Biotic and abiotic components of an ecosystem work hand in hand to maintain balance in our environment. Without the abiotic components, living things cannot survive. Organisms both depend on the biotic and abiotic component in the environment. Let's summarize the difference between abiotic and biotic component using this table.